Helicopter Institute loves the fact that HAI cared enough about its members, and as you included in the introduction, which I really appreciate as a board member, watching HAI expand its membership benefits, and I mean expansion like I've never seen before, is really a fantastic piece. The fact that we're looking at the training and checking program now is something that's addressing some real challenges. So being able to go to our membership here and have this opportunity, to show them is fantastic. So thank you very, very much.
Absolutely. I'm going to duck out of the way until we get into the question period. So I'll let you bring up your screen, and I'll see you after the presentation.
Fantastic. Well, everybody, just want to say thank you very much for tuning in. And again, with Helicopter Association International, the international touch point of the helicopter industry and our membership body, on behalf of HAI and Helicopter Institute, I want to welcome you to the program. And what we're talking about today, as you can see, is our Fly, Train, Check program, or also intimately known to us as the HAI Flight Training and Checking Program. And I want to walk through this with you and show you all the membership benefits that we have for you as the members. And, this is something that I really am passionate about, because first and foremost, for Helicopter Association International and my participation, I'm an operator. I am you. So Helicopter Institute is, in fact, goes through, we go through all the pains and strains as any other helicopter operator would experience. And so when we're feeling something and we see it happening, we know that we're not alone. And you, as the membership body for HAI, are experiencing the same things. And for years now, I've been associated now with HAI as an operator myself since 1993, and participating with HAI and working groups and committees. And as you've heard, as a board of directors, and watching this organization grow and represent you, the operator, both domestically and of course internationally, is really amazing. And also seeing the air vehicles change, as we merge into this true vertical lift world. It's not getting any easier on us. As a matter of fact, it's a little more challenging, and HAI is doing everything they can to get out in front of it and spread that message and let the world know that vertical lift is a great solution for everybody, for a lot of different needs and a lot of different things. And this particular presentation brings us back to the helicopter industry and some of our, I'm going to call that low-hanging fruit challenges that we have. And we have really tried to get out there and assist with some of those challenges. And I want to kind of walk through that program with you now. And I'll break it down in some little things. But the first thing I'll talk about is who we are as Helicopter Institute. So Helicopter Institute is an organization here in Fort Worth, Texas. We basically started out in 2009. And as Dan alluded to, I've been a pilot examiner for the FAA nearly 30 years. And everything from privates through ATPs and flight instructors. And so the training and checking piece of what I do is very near and dear to my heart. I've had the privilege to be in the helicopter industry my whole life. This is all I've ever done since I was 18 years old. And I had the privilege to enter the industry in aerial application. And I've been very fortunate to have a very broad brushstroke of experiences that represent a lot of our membership body within HAI. So when I came back into what my true passion was, which was helicopter training, I thought about it as a much more robust program, not just initial training, but advanced training and, a lot of the mission specific training tasks and things of that nature. So Helicopter Institute does that. We offer, all FAA certification and training items, and I'll show you what those are in a moment as we go through the program, because everything we do is associated with this HAI membership program. And as we get to the end of my presentation, I'll kind of show you what those membership benefits are, because talking about the company is one thing, but showing how Helicopter Institute in partnership with Helicopter Association International benefits you is the key to this entire webinar. A little more about us, as Dan alluded to on the right side of the screen there, we were very, very fortunate to be selected as the Department of the Navy's first ever contract training provider for some of their helicopter training. We're now doing the baseline, or if you will, initial flight training for their pilot staff, which includes some the Navy and Coast Guard at this time. That's a great program. Very proud of that. On the far left side of your screen, we also do all the helicopter training for Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Prescott, Arizona, and of course, our base here in Fort Worth. And as we go through these things, the services that we provide are common to the company, and as I said, available to you. So we'll kind of get started with that. A program overview is, the industry as a whole, we have to develop the problem statement. And in a problem statement, the challenges of staffing, the challenges of the FAA staffing, things of that nature, well, that has a cascading effect. And so domestically, I want to focus on the domestic issue first, and then we'll talk about some of the international pieces. But domestically, it is very, very challenging today to keep pilots, to train pilots. And when you apply to that a checking event, so a training and checking event, and if the FAA is required for those checking events, it's really challenging to get them in. The FAA is experiencing all of the same challenges that you and I as operators are challenged by, excuse me. And it's, so gaining the staff, training the staff, checking the staff, having them qualified in a broad brush of equipment. Those are the challenges that we have. So when we developed the Fly, Train, Check program, what we were thinking about is assisting the operator in getting out into the aircraft, be able to provide the flight training at a regulatory level that's appropriate to the need, and closing the loop by getting back to them with the check rides as necessary. And that includes both the FAA certification rides as well as the certificate-based rides, like a Part 135 check ride under Part 2, 135, 293, or 299. And we'll explain some of that more in just a moment. But that's the overview of the program. On the bottom of the slide, you can see it does meet FAA OpSpec A031 for those 135 operators that need some training and checking. And we have customizable programs. One of the things that we tried to do is not just go in and say, hey, we can train you for a pilot certificate or we can get you a check ride for 135. But if you need training related to external load, mission related, night vision goggles, anything in that regard, we can do that for you and do it at an expert level. And, we combine all those things together so you get contract consolidation. But more importantly, how is that a benefit for you? That works in the form of, discounts on the training and those things that you can consolidate into one contract and overall discount back to your membership. So that's kind of an overview of the program so that you get the training, checking that you need, and also the cost-effective basis, the money that goes back into your pocket as an operator is another key factor here and something that we definitely were driving for through this program. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Part 135 A031 contract training and checking. And for years and years, a lot of operators, bigger helicopter operators, have benefited from this same program by going to some of the large simulation training organizations under Part 142. And so those organizations are very accustomed, along with the FAA, to having that outsourced training and checking program. And so what we've done is we've talked about, hey, the smaller operators, the ones that the larger, simulation divisions do not either support or, support in volume or cost effectively, we need to address that. And so what we did as an operator, since we are a Part 135 operator, we expanded our training and checking program so that we can embrace you, the operator. And so for those aircraft that we operate, which are very diverse, and we'll go through some of that, but your Airbus AS350 series, your Bell 206, 505, 407s, your MD500s, the Robinson series, these aircraft we operate extensively within our fleet. And so that training approval can be brought back to you as an operator with our own aircraft, our own staff, or our staff in your aircraft at your location. So either one is a benefit to you. And again, why did we do this? We did this simply because of the challenge that we all face as operators. And that is today, a primary challenge is getting the FAA's ability to get out there and provide you some of the checking that you need. Another thing that's happening is staffing shortage due to attrition. As we see the airlines hiring more and more folks, they're taking some of our more senior captains and check pilots. And as they take them, we have to backfill those positions. Well, in some of these positions, like a check pilot, as an example, the FAA has a requirement to come out and do an observation. That's the 135-339 observation. So getting that done takes time. And it's terrible that once you get them observed and now they're available to check for you, that individual departs and goes out to another opportunity. So you get this consistent churn of staffing attrition, and it does not help you get pilots on the flight line. And that's one of the things we're doing here, that when you have a lack of availability from the FAA for their staff to come out and help you get your pilots, your flight instructors, your check pilots, maybe you have an aircraft like a Robinson that has an SFAR 73 issue, night vision goggles, is that additional capability, or the fact that maybe they don't have anybody qualified available for the aircraft that you're dealing with. That's why we partnered with HAI to come back to you and say, we can help with this, and we can help those operators to go out there and get the training and checking done in our aircraft or theirs to help shorten and benefit some of the time frame of the shortages that we have. Now, I will tell you, for each operator that we work with, there is a short period of time at the beginning for us to get the paperwork in place. But it is the paperwork's a lot easier to process than is trying to get an ongoing affair with people. And so although there is under A031 a little bit of a challenge on the front end that we have to work with your principal inspector to get through these little hurdles, we do it all the time. And as long as the FAA, your FAA, is willing to adopt a training program to help you, the operator, then we have the ability to help you with that solution. Now, another challenge that's in the industry right now is on the FAA certification training and checking piece. One piece is finding a DPE. Now, we as an operator, we have our own, we do all initial training for private through ATP, CFI. So we do all the training as well. So we feel the challenges. As a matter of principle within the organization, try not to do check rides. Even though I'm an examiner for the FAA, I try not to do the check rides within our organization. I have DPEs within the area. We're in North Texas, and they come in and do those check rides for us for our own students. And I find that as a great way to delineate between my services as the FAA and also, what we do as a company. Another thing we do to keep a good relationship and keep an open door policy to the FAA is we invite them in to observe a lot of what we do and use our facility as often as possible as an on-the-job training location. So very often we get more inspections here than most companies, but we actually invite it, and it helps us re-benchmark who we are to the FAA on a weekly to monthly basis. And we really enjoy that. The challenge sometimes, even with us, is to get the DPEs to be available, or again, for the industry, a designated pilot examiner to be able to come in and do some of those check rides. So even though I'm a DPE, I also am a very busy individual, so I'm not available all the time. And so when you see the aviation industry more robust and growing, the increased need for pilot examiners is also growing. So one of the things we have several staff around the country with us that are also designated pilot examiners, and we can do private, instrument, commercial, all of the pilot certificate ratings that you might need, but we also have the ability to help out with military comps, or competency checks, some foreign pilot certification, ground instructors. Some of this are administrative things that we can help out with. And of course, as Dan alluded to earlier, the flight instructor refresher courses that we do both at Heli Expo, the Airborne Public Safety Association, their APSCON, which is their annual convention. And we also do some of these flight instructor clinics, or FERCs, that we offer at other times throughout the year. So we have the ability to help you tremendously through the FAA certification training and checking. And if it's not something we can do, we can help refer you somewhere else because we have the resources to do that, which is a critical part to it. Now, the bread and butter with our organization, what Helicopter Institute does, is annual insurance training as a factory alternative. We do it for the Airbus products, a lot more than what we operate. We have our own aircraft here, as well as aircraft we do this training for customers in their machines. And so that is an opportunity. It is a more budget friendly. It is a factory alternative. It is approved by all the insurance companies. So again, you just have an alternative to go out and get some of this training done for you. And when you come in with us, it gets all the insurance annual requirements are all done, either initial or recurrent. But one of the biggest things we do is if you're an HAI member of all these programs, we are going to give you a membership discount. And these discounts they range in size. And so I'll talk about that at the end. But the key is that the lowest discount you'll ever get is a discount that will meet the expense of what it would cost for you to be an HAI member, just in case you are not an HAI member. So if you came to us and said, hey, Randy, we like the idea and we would like to work with you, but we're not an HAI member, but we would like to benefit from the discount program, not a problem. We will apply the discount for you, and that would then go directly to you becoming a new HAI member. And from day one, you would get the membership benefit afforded to you through the Fly, Train, Check program. So I want to make sure it's not something you have to wait for or anything like that. Helicopter Institute, in lockstep with HAI, wants you to be a member, and we want to provide those benefits back to you. And so when you're doing this annual training, your 135 training, the FAA required training, all of those things, we can help get you to be an HAI member and get you on the road to saving some money. Now, we also offer aviation management training, and this is another key component. We not only do it here at our facility, we do it via Zoom classes, but we also do it on an annualized basis within the professional educational courses that we have at Heli Expo each year. So some particular courses that we offer are the 135 or Part 119 management courses, and that's for new director of operations, chief pilots, check pilots, or if you're going to be a new operator and you want to be a single pilot, 135 operator, we can help you walk through that certification process to help ease the pain, teach you what you need to know to be able to go out there and be a successful operator under Part 135. Equally important is our pilot training. So if you want to step it up a notch and be an FAA Part 141 pilot school, we have the ability to help you with that. We will teach your office management staff how to manage the organization, and all the way down to visas and the TSA require anything that's required as a pilot school, particularly focused on the FAA pilot schools under Part 141, but we will work 61 as well, and also your chief instructor requirements. So teaching them how to be a chief instructor, how to do check pilot requirements, and all of these things from an administrative perspective to make you a new or even improved operator and HAI successful member. Those are the key parts of that program. Now, we do have several different HAI member types, a lot of different types. One of the ones we do is the helicopter operators, and that's where we focus. And I just wanted you to know that Helicopter Institute will discount training by $375 for a new HAI member, up to, if you're doing, and that's just become a member for any of our training programs, we'll give you that at least. But if we're doing offsite training at your facility, we'll discount training as much as $500 a day, which is a significant discount back to you, money back in your pocket, just because you're an HAI member. And that's critical. Now, your member discounts are based upon the type of training, the location of training, how long are we there if we're doing it in your aircraft. And as you can see here, the discounts are provided to HAI members at the time of training. You don't have to wait. It doesn't come back to you in reimbursement. The day you book the training with Helicopter Institute as a member benefit for HAI, you will receive the cost discount immediately at that time. And that's because you need the money as well. And we know that every dollar saved in this business keeps you as a successful operator. And we really like that. As I said, if you're not an HAI member, discounts for Helicopter Institute training events will cover all of it. To become a member, it's important. We have the ability through our contacts to walk you through the program. That's not a problem. And here are a couple of the point of contacts, both for HAI as well as Helicopter Institute. So you're going to be getting more of this information from HAI staff. They'll be coming up as well. But this is just some of the information we wanted you to know. This is not everything. As we develop more programs with Helicopter Institute, we want you to know that, we're going to continue to broaden the offerings that you'll see. We're doing that for you. And I want you to make sure that you know that as we do that, these programs will be offered back to HAI members as well. So it's not just something, that we're doing with just these few items here. I'm going to go through some questions here in a minute, but I want to let you know Anaheim, where we're finishing the 75th anniversary of Helicopter Association International, which is a huge thing back in Anaheim, California. Helicopter Institute will be at booth 6114. And so we want to make sure that all of you will come out and see us there. That is something really, really special to us of how we're going to do this and, the things that we're going to do for you and talk to you about it. And that's real important to us that we get to meet you and see you. So for now, Dan, that's pretty much all the items that I have to, to show the group here. I do want to go back and look at some questions. So let me come down here real quick and open this up. Stand by.
I'm going to close your screen while we're doing that, Randy, so we can just talk between the two of us, unless you need something else to share.
Thank you very much. That's what I was looking for. It disappeared from my screen. Thanks for doing that for me.
Don't you love technology?
Yeah. All right. Thanks for getting that. So real quick, I want to go through a couple of questions that were asked of me. And I, if you don't mind real quick, they aircraft supported, right? We have, as I mentioned, the Airbus products, the Bell products, whether it be new aircraft, some of your legacy machines, all those are supported by our staff. We do have enough staff to pretty much get out there and help the majority of those operators. But as we grow, the staff grows. And that's an ongoing affair. Some folks have asked, are we looking for instructors? Absolutely. As a growing company, we love to have those folks come in and talk to us about not just this program, but other programs. And we're a big company for mentoring and things like that, but we're not the only company. I mean, there's other organizations out there that are HAI members that are training organizations that would love to mentor, new instructors and so forth. That's a key part of this. Backlogs. They've asked about it. Do you have a large backlog in some of this training? Well, like with anything else, some of the programs are more than others, but on average, we like to get about a month to 2 months notice. I mean, 2 months is fantastic. We can get 60 days notice. That works out really, really well. Some of those things, really, it's just timing. The bigger the training commitment. But if you're doing some of the A031 Part 135 training, there is paperwork with the FAA involved. So the earlier, the better before you need the training. Usually 90 days would be fantastic for that. And pretty much everything. That's basically all the questions I had. So Dan, if you got anything else, then I'd love to take some questions.
Sure. Let's jump in. We just got a question for David Clooney. Do you train on the Schweitzer S300?
Absolutely. Great aircraft.
Okay. And I know you talked a little bit about this online or during your presentation. Is your program available for international operators?
Yeah, so that was one piece I wanted to talk about international. Thank you. I didn't have a slide for that because the international market is very unique. Initially for the international market, what we focus on are pilots and maintenance. As of right now, if you're a foreign pilot, you need to do anything for foreign pilot transitions on certificates, things of that nature. Absolutely, we can help you. I would encourage you to go to under the federal aviation regulations for foreign pilots coming here that need training or looking for certification. If you go to FAR 61.41, it talks about flight training received by other than FAA flight instructors. So that talks about how you can count training from the international market. And we also have FAR 61.75, which talks about your foreign pilot competency issuance of at least a private pilot certification when you get here. There's other things, but yes, absolutely. We do work with the international piece and particularly pilots and maintenance training, as well as some certification things that we can help you with.
I've got a question from Gary, and actually this is a good one. And maybe this is something you're going to expand into, but do you have anything for director of maintenance training?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And that the key is just a matter of the request. That is one of the, we haven't gotten a lot of questions on that, but absolutely. So when we go to the Part 135 piece, If we have a maintenance touch point, we are more than willing to put on those classes. And Dan, that's a great thing for us to take back to Greg. Greg Brown is our educational director, and I think we ought to ping him with that. And we absolutely could add that. I mean, this is what HAI is all about. You, the operator, ask us to do something. We need to put it together and get it back to you. So we are not trying to, push out the maintenance side. Maintenance, I hate to say this, but the training piece and for maintenance and mechanics, you guys are often ignored too much. And we know that, and that's not something we like. We want to enhance it. We just need to know what to enhance. So I will absolutely take a look at that, Gary, and let's see what we can get done for you.
Great idea there, Randy. Raphael is asking, is the training just for aircraft qualification or also in-dock tailored to the operator?
Oh, no, it's absolutely in-dock. I mean, that's what 135 training is all about. There are some pieces depending upon the documentation and how we work with the operator. I mean, if it's an air ambulance operator, oil and gas, it might be just a common 135 point-to-point transportation operator, but you're all different. And basic in-dock is a critical component to that. Whenever we go into an organization, we will work with the operator to see where they need their help. We are not walking in telling you what you need. You are the operator. We will evaluate safety programs and help out and talk about things of that nature, because truthfully, our vision as Helicopter Institute is improving helicopter safety one pilot at a time. So that's how we do our training, but you're the operator. So we integrate with you. We look at what you need, where your weaknesses are, where your desires are, and we have a source of training document that we complete, and it's as expansive or retracted as little as whatever benefits you, the operator. So to answer your question, that's how the training works. When it becomes checking when we walk in and we're doing contract check pilot, we will do the full 299, 293, 299 checks as needed, as well as your night vision goggles, things of that nature. When we go to Hawaii, we have to do weather enhanced safety areas. So we'll build out those items into the checking program, because that is the checking program is a whole different thing and animal than the training program. But great question, Raphael. Thank you.
Gary brings in another question. Would you consider setting up satellite locations with partners? Maybe that's something you want to take offline, but at least we can.
No. I mean, I'd put it online. I think it's fantastic. We, Helicopter Association International and Helicopter Institute, did not develop this program in secret. We didn't come back in a vacuum and say that we're the only organization. Absolutely not. Our goal as an organization is to enhance our members' opportunities for training and checking. When we get operators that are out there that are quality-based operators that want to get involved and believe in education, and they have the skills and they have the desire to help our members, that is a key component. We're building the industry. Remember that your customer, to help make them better, might be your competitor across the street. And we run into that all the time. And that's the key component. We got to understand that we're competitors and sometimes, but we're actually working together to improve safety on the other side. And there is no competition for safety. It doesn't exist. And so absolutely, satellite base is one thing. Settling up partners and how we do that in a conjunction with HAI is a critical piece to the growth.
I started out by saying that, we were designing a lot of these programs for small businesses, which is essentially true. But I had a question here. Is this available for individual pilots who are not working with an operator? If somebody just wants to be able to have some assistance with their training, can you help them?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We have individual, members, and we don't want anything to be taken away from anybody. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have a need, and our goal is twofold. One, to improve you as a pilot. So we're here to help you. Number two, in alignment with HAI, is to get you to be an HAI member. So our goal, whether you're an individual, we want you to be a member and we want to enhance your training. So absolutely yes to both of those.
Okay, we had another question from Raphael. Do you have experience with POIs allowing you to check 293C-IIMC?
Oh, of course. I mean, the 290, when you start getting into the IIMC, it's now a piece of every check. So when you go to it and you're looking through the numbers and the memos at the end of table 3-71 is what you're referring to. So when you get down into those notes, you don't dissect those, and we start doing the inadvertent IMC piece of the training. We're also incorporating all of those items to the emergency phase. Even a VFR operator, that is in the emergency phase of the competency check, the proficiency check. So absolutely, that is a piece of that. And again, it's whatever's in the aircraft. So what you provide as the aircraft, that's where we're going to engage on that checking procedure. We are no different than an FAA inspector. When we're representing the FAA administrator for that check, we're no different than how an FAA inspector would come in. We're going to go to, the appropriate volume 3. If you go chapter 19, section 7, table 3-71, that's what you go to, and it doesn't matter who it is. And that's how we're going to conduct that check. But thank you for that question.
By the way, I did get a comment from a different Greg saying he appreciated your comment about no competition when it comes to safety.
Absolutely.
You had talked about your location or somebody else's, the operators. Can you talk a little bit about the pros and cons and maybe financial considerations there?
Absolutely. So, we have a broad base of aircraft at our location for training. Some folks like to, if it depends on the training. Sometimes we're doing touchdown auto rotations or tail rotor failures, or doing it at night on MVGs or without MVGs. And when you're doing those power off landings, there's a lot of folks that do that level of training and don't want to put that in their aircraft. So there may be a reason to do on-site aircraft with us, or it might want to prefer to go to their location. It's probably a 50-50 of how our company runs. And, and there's also benefits to operating in their aircraft and their environment. So it all really depends on the customer. We also have a hybrid. I've got a lot of customers that will come to fly our aircraft for the high liability maneuvers, but they want to do other maneuvers in their aircraft. And so it's really customizable, but the customers it's you are the customer. And our goal is to fulfill what the customer's needs are and build a program that meets those needs.
Well, and this kind of wraps into that same concept. Can you also fulfill requirements for insurance or contract specs?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we do. Also, Department of Forestry, we meet the requirements on certain aircraft to be able to cut those requirements by half, very equivalent. And so when we say factory equivalent, we mean it. It absolutely gives you an opportunity to meet the same things you would expect. And, we just need to know what the needs are, what your goals are, and why they're your goals. And then on every situation, we'll make sure that there are no loose ends. That way you don't get surprised.
Had what looks like it might be kind of getting down to our final question. Gary, a couple things. Well, first of all, Gary said, do you train in the Augustas?
Yes.
Okay. And then it looks like you've got a compliment from Frank. It says that he might have taken your courses. Chief pilot for a large police department in the Midwest. I highly recommend Helicopter Institute, Randy and the staff. Use the program and training for the last 5 pilots, and they continue to certify advanced ratings for our people and keep us flying safely. So well done.
Thank you very much, Frank. Very kind.
I think we're kind of towards the end, but I hate to make this sound like a cheesy infomercial, but there was something you said a little while ago that keyed off that I just kind of had to grasp a hold of and address. You were saying that the discount that you would offer, at least on one of the programs, would be the equivalent of what somebody would have to pay for an HAI membership. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So our minimum is,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say there's a minimum membership fee. I think it's $375 or something like that. Our goal, it was kind of funny at first. We have to learn this program, Dan. And, we would have customers come in and they'd say, well, why would we do that if this doesn't match this or this doesn't match that? And as an operator, and it doesn't take a lot to look down at the economics of it and find out that made a whole lot of sense. And so we changed it to make sure that if an operator came in and they said, we would like to do this, and I'll say, okay, are you an HAI member? And they go, no. I'll say, well, tell you what, we're going to give you this discount right now. No matter what, there's your discount. Go join HAI. Done. There's the discount. So right off the get-go, you're now a member, and we will then apply the remainder portions of any discounts that you would get to the rest of your training. And that's a key component to us because we believe in this program.
Well, and I guess the point I was getting to is that then opens you up to all of the other membership benefits that HAI has.
That's right.
And they are extensive. So if you're not a member, if you're considering this program, this is where the infomercial part came in that I did not expect to talk about. Take a look at our membership benefits page and see if there are other benefits that your company or you as an individual can use, because that's actually a pretty massive offering right there. So Randy, thank you so much. That's
Dan, if I can add one additional note, that's our goal, right? We are, this is about membership benefits. And I can tell you from a board perspective, you, the operator, have to let us know, HAI, let us know what your needs are. So if you don't see a membership benefit that meets your needs, let us know so that we can develop the benefits because here's the thing, the landscape of our industry changes. It changes every year. It changes daily almost, but literally on an annualized basis, we see changes on the regulatory side. We see changes on the insurance side. And we need to know how those affect you, and being a member gets your voice heard. The second piece is don't become a member that is a silent member. We need members that are advocates for the industry that come out and get in our working groups and get involved all the way to the board of directors. If you're a member, you're an operator member, then come work with us at the board level and help us put the rudder and put the needle of the organization of where we need to be to help other operators that are out there. So thank you, Dan, for bringing that up, because no, it's not an infomercial. It is the truth. And I think if the truth be told, we're an operation that's here for the operators, and it takes the operators to allow us to represent them because they got to tell us how to do it.
Well, in that case, I am going to share the slide that I started to bring up accidentally earlier. So this does have additional information about the program, about HAI. The QR code or the information there at the bottom will get you to the website. And then you can go to check out the membership benefits there. So I'm going to leave this up for just a second or two to allow you to use your phone, get the screen capture. The web address down below the QR code, if you need to write that down, whatever makes most sense to you. And I'm sure that Randy and his team would be happy to answer any questions you guys might have, especially if you were watching this after the live presentation. So Randy, really am grateful for the time that you spent today. Your team helped us getting this all set up. This was literally a great presentation on some of the membership benefits that HAI offers that can really help a business operator.
Thank you, Dan. And to everybody who was watching this, please don't just keep it here. Tell other people about it. Let them go out and see the recorded presentation. And do know that if you miss anything here, if you wrote it down wrong, you can also go to helicopterinstitute.com, my staff, and just tell them you're here for an HAI benefit that you want to talk to them about it. Our own staff can help you with all the information. It doesn't matter which path you go to, you will get the same level of attention and get this done. So for everybody on the webinar, thank you very much. Really appreciate the fact that you're here. Dan, thank you at HAI for the opportunity.
Absolutely, Randy. Thank you. And thank you for your service to the industry, especially on the board. It's been incredibly valuable. So Randy, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and get into some of our housekeeping things now to wrap up for the day.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, Randy. I want to tell you about some of the upcoming webinars. I forgot to get the dates put down. The webinar is coming up at the end of October here. Don't have a title for it yet. We just are getting this one set up. It is filling in for one that had to be rescheduled. And Jonathan Daniels is the consultant, the advisor to the board of directors on UAS aircraft. He will be joined by Jonathan Ruprecht, who is an aviation attorney who has, as I understand it, produced more exemptions for UAS aircraft in the US than any other aviation attorney. The two of them are going to come in and talk about advanced air mobility. And one of the things that we were talking about just in trying to get this set up was, we know that there's a lot of marketing hype. So where do we stand with the industry and what's coming up with it? It should be really interesting. First in November, first webinar in November, the second Thursday. I'm sure I can get this out. Rotorcraft wake turbulence, great presentation. And I believe it's going to be November 16th. Normally the fourth Thursday, that's Thanksgiving here in the United States. We're not going to do a presentation that day. We'll try to back it up 1 week, and we'll be talking about hopefully with somebody from JPL on the NASA Mars helicopter. They just, I believe, are on their 61st flight now. And one of the things I saw that they're just starting to do now is really starting to run it to extremes. They're trying to get it up to high altitudes, which to me indicates that they've accomplished everything they wanted with their proof of concept. So now let's see what this baby can do. And what are they learning from that? We do encourage you to subscribe to free products from HAI. Doesn't have to be a member, just if you're interested. We like to share news. Rotor Magazine is a quarterly publication, an award-winning quarterly publication. That goes into a lot more depth than our webinars, than our other presentations and stories in Rotor Daily. All you have to do to get that is go to rotor.org/subscribe. You can subscribe to it and Rotor Daily. Rotor Daily is our daily news aggregator. We do the Google search every morning so that you don't have to. We send you all the headlines from the vertical lift industry each and every day, to each and every business day, to your inbox. It's free as well. The magazine, I misspoke a little bit. It's free if you're in the US. If you're outside the US, the magazine is still free, but there is a small stipend fee for mailing charges. That's all we ever do. HAI is a nonprofit, so we can't quite cover absolutely everything. We may have a feedback survey coming to you shortly. We would ask that you take just a few minutes to let us know what you like and don't like about the webinars. If you have any suggestions for upcoming webinars. Equally, we're also always looking for the same information for the association. As we kind of indicated today, HAI is a membership organization. We want to provide you with what you need, but we need to know what you need. We're happy to start working with you. So if there's something you like, you don't like, let Jim Viola know, our president and CEO. Send him an email at president@rotor.org, and he'll be happy to assign it to the right staff person to help out. That does conclude our webinar today. We are grateful that you took time to join us. Until 2 weeks from now, we hope that you be safe, you fly safe, and we'll see you very, very soon.